Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a lot quick. That was a lot quicker of a turnaround than I was thinking we were going to get. I thought it was 12:30, but apparently it's 12 o'clock. So there is going to be a press conference today. Kristi Noem is going to be doing a press conference, and we've got it up here from Maricopa County. And let me see if I can get some details here while we're waiting, because I don't know much about this. I just know that there was a rumor about it. Now we know it's confirmed. And so let's see what we've actually got here. I will read what it says. Secretary Noem delivers remarks on election integrity Friday, February 13th, 12 p.m. Eastern. U.S. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Noem hosts a press conference on election integrity. And that's all we've got. So there we go. It looks like she has the Save America Act banner up there in the background, or two boards. Let me see if I can read those. Let me get the screen pulled up. Bear with me, guys. And I just literally came off a daily, and here we are right into it. And let's see. It says, the Save America Act is a bipartisan bill that would simply require voters to provide a valid ID confirming American citizenship before registering to vote in a federal election. No mail-in ballots. Just simply no mail-in ballots. Let's go. Pass that shit. Requirement for photo ID to vote should be something that no American should oppose. Save America and secure elections. Things you need for identification. Signing up for government benefits. Or things you need identification for, I should say. Signing up for government benefits. Driving. Boarding a flight. Opening a bank account. Buying cold medicine. Renting a hotel room. Buying a beer. Donating blood. Save America and secure elections. So there we go. That is what we got here. Is this working? Are we live? Okay, we are live. I had to make sure we were live. All right. So there we go. Let me see. Oh boy, they do not have it going on Badlands. They have it, but nobody started it yet. Let me text them and let them know that they got to get it going. All right. So again, this is an impromptu stream. You know, I'm just here to kind of see what this is about. I have no idea. I've heard rumors that Arizona might be worse than Georgia. I don't believe that personally, but that's the rumor that's out there from a very credible source. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if this is going to be anything specific or if this is just going to be about the SAVE Act. It says election voter. Does it say election integrity or voter integrity? Oh, we got somebody walking across the screen. It says, it does not say. It says election integrity. So yeah. That is interesting. If they are somehow able to get this passed, and guys, it is going to be an uphill battle for the SAVE Act, unfortunately. Okay, unfortunately, it's going to be an uphill battle. But if they are able to get this passed, this would be a big deal. I'm sure they're going to want to amend the mail-in ballots. I think there is still stipulations in it for like disabled people and people who meet a certain criteria. It's not just. I think it's no universal mail-in ballots. Like you have to request the mail-in ballot. You have to send an ID. So it's not exactly when it says no mail-in ballots on the Save America Act poster there. It's not no mail-in ballots. It's limited mail-in ballots. Safe but rare, right? The old Bill Clinton adage for abortion. Safe but rare. So I mean, it's a big deal. Here we go. Maybe we're going to get some action here. Let me tell them over on Badlands. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm kind of double tasking here. Double tasking? Double tasking. All right. Look at this, man. Maricopa County. If that's not symbolism right there, foreshadowing what's coming next after Georgia, let's get on over to Maricopa County and get Arizona under control as well. So yeah, so again, going back to the mail-in ballots thing, this is going to be this one person, one vote, 12:30. It says 12, and they're moving the camera around a little bit, so maybe it's going to be 12:30. Well, now somebody's approaching. They're moving things around a little bit. Maybe they're listening to us and they're like, "Hey, we got to frame this a little bit better." So the federal election, the federal government can't make rules against state elections. So everything from your governor down is regulated by the state. They can make the preemptive clause of Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution gives Congress the authority to make laws regarding federal elections. So when they say voter ID and they say no mail-in ballots, they do have the authority to do that, but only for the president, House, and the Senate. You can change that around at that point, and states can separate the federal and state elections. And if they want to do that, I'm all for that. You know, I'm a staunch constitutionalist, and if the states say, hey, you can vote for these three people, you got to show ID and no mail-in ballots, but for our state elections, we're going to do whatever the bleep we want to do. That's on you guys in your state at an individual level, you know, at a sovereign Floridian or Californian or whatever the case might be. So, you know, I'm a big proponent of the SAVE Act. I think that once the SAVE Act is passed, like, I don't think you'll see any state deviate from the consolidated ballot of federal, state, and local elections. Although I think it would be glorious if states did, because I still think that that's the fast track way to hand counted paper ballots at the precinct level. Because, you know, and I've said this many times on my shows, the most ideal thing for me would be to separate those elections so that you could hand count them, because you're not going to get nearly the turnout for state elections as you would for others. So, all right, I've got the volume on now. It had a little bit of feedback, so like it's got like static, so I didn't want to keep it up, but it looks like they're about to start. So here we go. Let me make sure Badlands got started over there. Let's see. Oh, my dog is barking like crazy. Ooh. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Yeah, so that's my theory on it. Looks like we're about to get going, which is good for me. Hey. All right, looks like we left now again. All right, I'm all over the place. Oh, we got more up there. We got things you need. No, that's the same too. 84% support requiring photo identification to vote. Let me just back up a second and see what the other one said. 83%, 84%, Americans support photo ID. Americans strongly support voter ID. Like the same thing. On the left, it says 84% of Americans agree, yes, a valid photo ID should be required to prove U.S. citizenship before voting. Okay. I'm good with that. I am good with that. All right, let me jump in the chat in the meantime here, see what's going on. One person, one vote says, hi, Cash. Cash is a little shit, man. Cash is a little shit. He barks at everything. So normally he has to be in the studio with me when I'm live if Kristi's not home, because he'll bark at everything. And he escaped today when Daly's intro was playing and I ran downstairs to get my coffee. he escaped, and he won't come back up because he knows that he's going to get locked in here. And so he stayed downstairs, and he was barking at one point while Chris was talking. Thankfully, Chris was talking, so I was able to mute myself. But yeah, one guy did get the memo on the suit thing. Just saying. There you go. Maybe somebody's dressed for the occasion. AZ Predator Slayer, Magic Cartel, Mortgage, Money Laundering, Bribes should be investigated. Start with ex-Governor Doug Ducey. Amen. Start with all of them. I think they're all corrupt in Arizona. I think you guys have some of the worst corruption. Not that it's not corrupt everywhere. Everybody's taking money from somebody, right? When you have a bottomless pit of money, why not grab what you can? And that's what they do. That's what they do. They're all freaking criminals, man. What do we got? What do we got? Yay, more time with you. Thank you, Dragon. We got a little bit of time. I'm going to be recording Why We Vote after this with Ash. So there we go. And let's see. Wow. Just waiting, just waiting. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I am going to leave this up here, and I'm going to mute myself and run downstairs and grab something to eat because this is my lunchtime, and I don't know how long this is going to go, and then I got to do another show right after, so I'm going to multitask. So I'm going to make this full screen, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Still waiting for this to go live, so it's okay. Got some more people in here. That's good to see you guys. Just stuffed my face with a piece of pizza real quick, and trust me, I will be eating the rest of it while this thing is going on when it starts. Elf boy, yo CannCon, yo Elf boy, what's up? Phil Scarborough, good to see you. Friend of Christ, good to see you. Nuke Hayes, D Dale, good to see all you guys as always. And there's naturally Nikki. Had a call-in show on Badlands Daily this morning, and naturally Nikki got through and talked to us for a little bit there about the bureaucratic state and the regulations, the over regulations. I'm there all the way. Nothing better than morning pizza. Well, it's noon here, so it's technically lunch. It's noon for me. Is there pineapple on your pizza? No. Pepperoni. Kristi bought this yesterday, and I made a pizza yesterday, so she had work, so she bought a pizza on her way home. Pizza is better hot. Oh, I absolutely heated it up. I have a Chef Man convection oven that's AI smart, and so it heated the pizza up. I throw it in the microwave for like 30 seconds to get it not cold, and then threw it in the convection oven. So yeah, but no pineapple. I do love Hawaiian pizza though. I love Hawaiian pizza. People make fun of me, and my Italian family, they give me shit for it, but I love Hawaiian pizza. Love it. Trump is departing the White House. Sure wish they could do something different to be able to hear him in front of the helicopter. 100% with you on that 100%. The Air Force One 53 in the background, I think it's a CH-53 Marine One, not Air Force One, Marine One. I think it's a CH-53 Super Stallion, isn't it? Yeah, CH-53E Super Stallion. They need a new one for him too, by the way. That aircraft has been around for a long time. Naturally, Nikki, only pizza my kids will eat is pineapple and ham. That's called a Hawaiian. It's called a Hawaiian. I'm a veg and meat girl all the way, even olives. Only way that I'll eat them besides on a taco, actually. The only thing I don't like on my pizza is mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms. I'm not a big fan of mushrooms. So I don't like them on there. Any idea what this will be? Phil Scarborough asked. Doesn't seem as dramatic as the Atlanta event. So this is DHS. So thank you for Scarborough, Phil, for bringing me into this. DHS has a very limited role in elections. CISA is the only entity under DHS that does anything with elections, cybersecurity and infrastructure security agency. So that's what I'm expecting this to be. If there's going to be a mention here, now they have a whole bunch of SAVE Act stuff up in the background, and I guess they're going to take and there is the HSI logo on the podium, Homeland Security Investigations. So I guess they're going to take the ICE aspect of this and try and talk about that aspect, which is kind of weird to me. I was hoping it was going to be CISA that was going to be saying something, but no. It looks like they're going to, this looks like it's going to be a rally for the SAVE Act. I don't think we're going to get anything crazy substantive out of this. Seth Keschel on Telegram, don't shoot the messenger if this is incorrect, but locals are saying DHS is at Maricopa Election Center. Well, I mean, I don't know where this is, but this is DHS, and that was something that was kind of known. So, yeah, I'm not gonna shoot the messenger. Seth Keschel's awesome. I love Seth Keschel, and also he's significantly bigger than me. That dude towers over me. I'm 6'3", and there's not too many people that I look up to, like physically, but he's definitely one of them. He is very tall. Who else is really tall? Who was I with in Arizona? Oh, Ron Watkins is very tall as well. I think he's like 6'5". So Seth Keschel, I think, is like 6'6", 6'7", and Ron Watkins is like 6'5". And so I was talking to the two of them in Arizona a couple of years ago. And that was the first time I've ever been in a conversation with 3 people where both of them are taller than me. Doesn't usually happen too often. So that was kind of weird. It's significantly taller than me, right? 2 inches. That's a big deal. Alaska killed ranked choice voting. Let's go. Try sauerkraut, pineapple, and ham. Pizza Ranch makes special orders, and it's great with white garlic sauce. Sounds like my favorite pizza of all is a meatball and ricotta pie. You get a little bit of meatball, a little bit of ricotta. If you're Italian, you say ricotta. If you're a Jersey, I tie. I'm Italian, guys. Don't take offense to that. That's my favorite pie. There's a place down here called Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza. It's a chain now, but it started as an OG down here, and they make a meatball and ricotta pie that is amazing. Ricotta cheese for those out there. All right. I might have to go back on mute here and patiently wait in the background because I got to get some food in me. Got to get some food. Yeah, so it looks like this is going to be a SAVE Act discussion. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we could get something out of this, an announcement that there's more illegals voting than we initially believed, and that democracy docket is full of crap. If you guys saw Badlands Daily this morning, Chris and I talked about democracy dockets, not hit piece, but they're reporting, quote unquote, reporting on the SAVE Act. And just absolutely brain dead. They're reporting on it. So there's that. Alan WS. Hey, Brian, thanks for all you do. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Hit the thumbs up. That's a great way to support me. Hitting that thumb. And while we're waiting, you know what? I should probably, let me hit a sponsor while we're waiting and talk to you guys a little bit about Rumble Wallet, guys. They can cancel your accounts, freeze your cards. They decide what you're allowed to buy, say, or support. Big banks and financial institutions have total control, and they use it. That's why financial independence matters now more than ever. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a wallet built for freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money, not a bank, not a government, not a tech company. You can buy digital assets like Tether, Tether Gold, and Bitcoin in one secure place. No permission, no middlemen, no cancel button. And when you want to support the creators that you actually believe in, you can use the Rumble Wallet app to directly tip content creators securely, instantly, and without interference. It's not a credit line that they can shut off. It's your wallet permanently, yours to protect your future. When the system fails, when institutions turn on their own people, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. Always got to be sovereign. Rumble Wallet isn't about politics. It's about freedom, ownership, and protecting what's yours. So take control today. Download the Rumble Wallet now and step away from the big banks for good. True ownership, true protection, true financial freedom. All right. And you guys can click the link there. It's pinned right up there at the top if you want to get yourself a Rumble Wallet. All right. And thank you guys all so much for being here. I deeply appreciate it. Please hit that thumbs up if you have not done so. Share the show out and follow me on all the socials at CannCon on X, CannCon on X, CannCon Actual on YouTube, and of course CannCon here on Rumble. And on that note, Elf Boy, or those comms, eat your pizza, enjoy. I woke up with pizza on my face and ranch on my chest or whatever. Chrissy frickin' Teigen, that psycho. No, it's not comms, though. I actually have pizza right here. See? It's actual pepperoni pizza. 2 slices. They're the little slices, though, because I already ate one. Love Why We Vote on Fridays. Thank you so much. I love Why We Vote, too. That is my favorite show to do. I love election integrity and exposing the fraud that has kept us all slaves, basically. That's what it's done. CPS, Dom, Tur, Org, kidnapping. Whoa. Is that spam? Is that? I can't tell if that's a spam bot or if that's an actual person. Haplo the patron. I worked up an entire timeline of much of the fraud in Arizona 2020 election on Telegram. If you are interested, yes, I am. Please shoot that over. Okay, truth prevail. You're real. Okay, just making sure, man. Just making sure. That's a very cryptic message you put there, like maybe a way to get around something. Oh, okay, no problem. No problem. Nick Moseder is live over at YouTube. Y'all should join streams and cover this. I didn't know. Nick is an odd character, man. He was like, oh, I'm not getting back into it. And now he's making more videos than anybody. Oh. Nick is over there co-streaming. Huh. How's my YouTube doing? Let me pull YouTube up here so I can watch on YouTube, because I'm live on YouTube as well. Oh, there we go. Man, I'm neglecting my YouTube friends and family. Liberty Lions Den is on YouTube. There we go. Will Nick join to talk about the first time? I don't know if that was directed at me. Let's see. I'm checking out both sites here. It's difficult to navigate two chats. Naturally, Nikki, I know it's called Hawaiian. I'm used to calling it ham and pineapple because most of the South doesn't seem to know it's called a Hawaiian. They look at me stupid when I call it that. Oh, I wouldn't look at you stupid, ever. Just hit the thumbs up over on YouTube, CannCon. Thank you. Thank you. As soon as you start eating your pizza, it will start. Yeah, I know, right? Hawaiian should also have chicken. No, bacon. It's supposed to be bacon, pineapple, and ham. Is it supposed to have chicken? Luau? I bet you it'd be good if you put teriyaki chicken on a Hawaiian pizza. Man, I might try that. Teriyaki chicken on Hawaiian pizza. My mom, when I was a kid, she would make Caesar salads, and she made them so good. Like, she made the breadcrumbs herself and everything, but she would make the chicken was teriyaki. And I was always like, that's kind of weird to put a teriyaki flavored, chicken, teriyaki seasoned chicken in a Caesar salad, but it was so freaking good. One of my favorites, man. One of my favorites. The stuff from your childhood that you remember is like my mom, and I'm childhood, I was a teenager, but my mom making Caesar salads, homemade Caesar salads, homemade breadcrumbs, all that. And no anchovies, though. I know you're supposed to have anchovies, but then we'd put them in these big plastic bowls and just like eat a whole salad watching a movie, like me, my sister, my stepdad, my mom. Good times, good times. You remember that stuff. All right, looks like, well, they're zooming in. They want you to know that it's HSI that is doing this. They want us to know that it's HSI. South Dakota state worker gets prison for 178 million CPS. Can I message you? What do you want me to message you? Let's see. South Dakota Attorney General Jack Jackley, former DSS employee, sentenced to 13 years for stealing $1.78 million. That's from July 1st, 2025. Huh. Tuna fish pizza? Hell no. Nope. I love tuna fish. Nope. Not putting that on pizza. Would love to know your mom's recipe for Caesar dressing without the stinky fish. Me too. I would love to know that. Maybe I'll ask her. And if I ask her and she gives it to me, I will, as long as it's not sworn to secrecy. You know how women are with their recipes sometimes. I might be sworn. My wife can get it. She would love nothing more than to share recipes with my wife. So there's that. Can you message me? It's common practice. My DMs are open on X. My email is cancon@cancon.net. Very simple. And I try to respond to most emails, or at least read them. I don't always respond because it's not always something that requires a response. Sturgis. You know what I had when I was in Minnesota with John, Badlands John Harold. Over the summer, I think it was September, so it's kind of summer. For the first time ever, I had walleye. I went to Quinny's Pub, one of our Badlanders. I went to Quinny's Pub and had walleye. Oh my gosh, walleye is fantastic. Holy shit, it was such a good meal. Loved it. You have messaged me. What's your username? I'm going to eat pizza while I do this. I'll cover the microphone. It is Canadian bacon on Hawaiian, but it's also supposed to be regular bacon, in my opinion. I don't know if that's official or not. CK Ruthoff, are you serious? I was raised on walleye. Caught many of them myself. Walleye is fantastic. I've never had a freshwater fish that's so damn good. Never. Fish fry Friday in the Midwest is so good. I can only imagine, man. Black Hills walleye. I don't even know about all that stuff about different types and whatever, but the fish don't fry in the kitchen. Beans don't burn on the grill. Love it. Save the fish, eat more beef. Ribeye is better than walleye. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Fish ribeye is my favorite steak, followed by a fillet, and then followed by picanha. I like picanhas. Especially if, well, hold on, skirt steak's pretty good too. Like you get like a good medium rare salt and pepper skirt steak with a good chimichurri, and that's fire right there. That is fire. A pinwheel. You take a pinwheel with some prosciutto, some provolone, some spinach, and a little bit of chimichurri in there, salt, pepper, garlic, and you wrap that up in a pinwheel. Oh man, smoke that on the smoker for about an hour, and then throw that on the grill just to sear, get a quick sear on the outside. So damn good. T-bone's good. You got both the best of both worlds, right? T-bones are good. New York strip. Nah, not a big strip fan. Although when I was in Vegas, prime rib is fantastic, but a prime rib is the same cut as a ribeye. It's just broiled instead of grilled and roasted, whatever. It's essentially the same cut. And they cook it as one whole. I made a bomb ass rib roast for Christmas this year. I made a really, really good rib roast. Picanha or skirt number 3. Oh, hanger steak. Oh, we were at Gart Cocoa Beach. We went to a restaurant called, it was Zach's friend. It was a Badlander. It was a Badlander recommended, said it's their friend that owns it. I think it was called like Prohibition. It was a restaurant in Cocoa Beach, Florida. I want to say it was called Prohibition. And very, very interesting restaurant. Very cool. Loved it. And the food was fantastic. A little bit expensive, but the food was fantastic. The wine was amazing. And I had a hanger steak that was a Wagyu. And so the guy comes up and he's like telling us the specials. And he's like, oh, we have a Wagyu hanger steak and, comes with frites, which are, French fries. Okay. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, Wagyu steak. All right. I ask him, how much is it? And he's like, I think it was like $55. And I was like, whoa. Wagyu for $55? Sign me up. I'm in. And like 4 of us ended up getting it. It was so damn good. Oh my goodness. It was one of the best steaks I've ever had, including my own, which takes a lot. Like I am not a big fan of steaks that I don't cook. Like I go to restaurants and order a steak, and every time I look at my wife and I'm like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I keep going to restaurants and ordering steak and thinking that it's going to be anywhere near as good as my own when I could have stayed home for a fraction of the price and made my own? This one was better. I think it was called Prohibition in Cocoa Beach. Let me look up. Really cool looking restaurant. Let me see. Maybe it wasn't Prohibition. I want to get it right now because, oh man, it's not prohibition. Let me see. I'm trying to find. Oh man, now I feel so bad like that. I don't know. Where is this press conference? Let's go, guys. All right, so I've got all the restaurants up here. Brano's, no. The Alibi? No, that's not it either. Maybe it is the Alibi. All right, now I can't find it. All right, I'll jump back into the chat here. Dixie Crossroads, was that it? Dixie Crossroads? No way. I would have remembered that. Dixie Crossroads, Cocoa Beach. No, that's another. That's in Titusville. That's not it. All right, come on with this damn conference. Killing me. My pizza's getting cold now. I'm gonna have to go reheat it. All right. Ginger Because says Patrick Byrne just posted that Arizona elections was raised. I think he meant rated minutes ago. I don't know that I'm going to believe that. They did put this up. Here, let me see. I can share this while we're waiting for that to start. Marissa Caldwell put this out on X. Say, special notice of an emergency meeting of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors on February 12th, so yesterday at 2:30 p.m. Doesn't say what it's for. And Caldwell says, looks like the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors are suddenly in a panic with an emergency executive session happening today at 2:30. Weird that it doesn't look like Brom Resnick, Sasha Hupka. If you forgot Garrett Archer, the data guru, the data boob. We're outside with cameras waiting for them after because I'm told that that's the only normal way they handle these sorts of things. That is true. That is true. Bongino posted to keep all eyes on Maricopa today. So I'm trying to see here. Let's go to latest. Let's see what we find. Jack O'Malley, Kristi Noem to speak, seen entering Maricopa County elections. DNI Gabbard may be there as well. I can tell you my sources say DNI Gabbard is not there because originally I thought it was DNI Gabbard that was going to be there. So I reached out and it is not, allegedly. That's what I was told yesterday, that DNI Gabbard will not be in attendance. There's nothing to raid in Maricopa. Go check Pima. Developing rumors spread that Maricopa will be raided soon regarding the 2020 election. I don't know that they still have any retention on their records. I'm not 100% sure about that. I've been so focused on Georgia lately because yeah, and Richard's putting out here the ballots for Maricopa's election are gone. They were kept for the post-election litigation. They were kept for the Cyber Ninjas audit. They were kept for the 10,000 hours that the AG put into investigating the election. Right. Just so happens Brnovich died too, right? He just died like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They were kept well beyond the 22-month requirement. They were kept the treasurer, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be any raids on Maricopa. So I maybe Patrick Byrne knows something that I don't know. I mean, he is CIA after all, so maybe he's got intel that I don't have. But I have not heard anything about a raid. Rasmussen, Arizona, will there be lunch served or something else? Rasmussen put this out. Love him. Love him. We are going to count MAGA votes, but we will dispose of them for you. Can we go to Applebee's now? Stephen Richer. Did an interview with Stephen Richer about a month ago. Pretty interesting. Let's go back and see what we got on Maricopa County. Let's see if there's rated. Maricopa rated. And here it is. The overthrow was in. We now know all the different ways our elections are rigged and stolen. Where's the fraud is and who's responsible for it. Oh, look at that. That video is going to be very relevant. I feel like somebody was posting videos and articles about this video right here a couple years ago. I feel like doing this. Yep. What's going on in that video? You might want to go back and read some of the reporting that I did and that Jordan Conradson did. And yeah, it's going to be relevant. DHS about to provide remarks. Wonder what they are investigating here in Maricopa. Guys, getting ahead of ourselves. They have not announced any investigation as of yet. This could just be a press conference, and they just chose to do it in Maricopa County purely by coincidence. I'm sure it was purely coincidence that they chose to do this in Maricopa County. Yeah. Pima is pretty bad with corruption, too. Had lots of friends have to deal with courts for kids and drugs. Cartels own that state, man. Yes, they do. Does Jovan not have all the ballot images? A lot of us have the ballot images. The ballot images aren't going away anytime soon. We got them from before. Jovan has them. He's got the 600 DPI images. I think 600, maybe higher resolution than that. Eric Spikeen, I believe, also has them. I'm sure. Cyber Ninjas and Ben Cotton. There's a lot of people that have those records. The physical ballots themselves, however, they don't have, according to Richer. Remember, Ken Bennett, who was the liaison for the Senate in that audit, Ken Bennett testified before the 19th Congress in 2021 that they used at least 10 different types of paper. And that was like right after chairman of the board of supervisors, Bill Gates, said that they only used one vote secure paper. So somebody's lying. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I would never be so rude as to eat on a live stream, especially without the microphone muted. But today is a unique day because it's going to be a nonstop day for me until about 5 or 6 o'clock. And then I finally get to end my day like nonstop. I'm going from this to a recording, and then from there I got to write something. So your opinion of Ben Cotton is on the level up and up. Good guy. Hard to know who's who anymore. That's a great point. So Ben Cotton, I've listened to him testify in the Senate with the Cyber Ninjas and not with Cyber Ninjas, but with Doug Logan from Cyber Ninjas. I watched that testimony, and then I watched his hearing with Harry McDougal and Clay Parikh, and I've got a positive opinion. But again, you have to be very careful because this is a very infiltrated space, the election space, and there are a lot of feds, and it's a lot of feds. There's a lot of bad actors. I don't know one way or the other who's who and what's what. I can only take the information that they put out and determine whether or not that's good information or not good information. And that's really the only thing that I can do with this. So I don't know. I don't know Ben Cotton personally. Ben Cotton is one of the few people in this movement that I've actually never even spoken to. And so I can't say anything one way or the other about him. But his information's been good so far. You know, he testified in the Georgia hearing with Clay Parikh, and I thought that was a fantastic testimony. But I've also heard, I mean, when you work at the level that he works at for DOD and, you know, all sorts of other three-letter agencies doing their work, stuff happens. So I don't know. Why 64, big tip for all that you do to get us news. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Thank you. And I did have a rant. Oh, I did read the Ginger Because. Okay. So I read that rant as well. I will read the rants as they come in, as long as the stream's not live. And I do appreciate those because, again, this is not a Badlands show. This is my own thing here. So I'm doing this on my own accord. I'm trying to see how Badlands is doing with this. Make sure that they're good over there. Yeah, they're good. Oh, Ash is over there. Oh man. Oh man. What the hell? I feel betrayed. Oh man. Let's see if she...
Sean. Ash sounds like she doesn't trust the plan at all. How sad. Whose plan? Which plan are we talking about? CannCon says, I feel betrayed. Aren't you live on some other network right now? I feel betrayed.
Oh, yeah. I'm live on my own network, Ash.
And you can tell me whose plan we're trusting.
So there you go. Some insight into that. Let's go ahead and get back to the stream. There we go. There we go. Got that back up there. Just know, Ash, John texted me this morning and was like, can you do it? And I was like, I got to do it on my channel. I got to get hours. You got to have a certain amount of hours in order to for Rumble. So I have to get a certain amount of hours. Glen Oak. No, Ash, we would rather listen to just you. I'm sorry. She's live on Badlands if you want to listen to just Ash. I'm just killing time now. I mean, there's only so much that we can talk about and speculate on this. I think it's going to be just a kind of a generic Save Act promotion. That's just what I think, but we'll see. Don't bring her over here. She'll throw bags of dicks at me. Inside joke for those that don't watch Badlands. And it's not really an inside joke. It's a very outside joke. Consume, thou shalt ingest a bag, satchel of Richards. Do a mashup. I'm thinking about how I can do a mashup without getting like major interference. Let me see. How can I do a mashup? I don't know how I do a mashup. I don't even know what platform she's on. She might be on the other one. Yeah, there she is. Okay. The problem is if I go in there, if I go in that room, it's going to echo bad on our end. So that's probably not a good idea. CannCon, what strain are you currently smoking? I think, I don't know. My wife has the last one. It's an indica at night. Nothing right now. I don't smoke that much during the day, just occasionally. Like today after Why We Vote, because we have to pre-record, I'll probably go down and take a couple hits, couple puffs, and then go about my day. John is calling you Judas CannCon. Is he really? I mean, I'm on my own platform. It's not like I'm on some other platform. It's kind of fucked up, man. Got to bookmark my tabs for tomorrow. 2/13. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. What am I getting? All right, can we get this thing underway? John's should be live right now. Why is he calling me Judas CannCon? He should be on Daily Herald right now. He's probably mad because there's only like a couple hundred people watching. You and Ash should just join streams. I don't think we can join streams. Oh, I'm looking at, man, Phil is like triple tasking over here. Is John talking shit in his stream? Is that what it is? Is that what's going on here? No, he's not. Oh, maybe he is. Oh boy. Like everybody is just all over the place right now. I don't even know which stream I'm looking at. Paraskevi deca tria. Wait. Paraskevi deca triophobia is the specific, often paralyzing fear of Friday the 13th. Hey, Gail Golick, good to see you. I wonder if Brian Ramirez will ever be pulled in for questioning. We have him in video deleting election databases with a link there. Good to see you, Gail. Here, I'll pull this up. How long is it? It's 1:11. I can pull this up while we're waiting.
The server logs. Well, I went back to our logs, and guess who it is?
Brian.
I'm the database administrator for the science computer forensics. What a great person to have on your team to take care of things when you need to get rid of something. Kristi Pastorelli let him into the server room. Here's the access basically showing her letting him in. And then here's the deleting of the logs. And this is when the logs or the database was deleted. Here she is letting Brian into the server room about that time. And here he is getting on the console. And you guys know the rest of the history for that.
She's not in the room with him at this point, right?
No, she's not. He's unsupervised. Remember, the county policy is 2 people should be in there. And again, this is another law broken because he's probably altering data in there by himself.
Okay, Matt.
They're brazen. They are brazen. They don't care. Thank you for sharing that, Gail. They don't care. Brian is still employed as the database administrator in Maricopa County. There you go. He probably got promoted. To be honest with you, he probably got promoted. Am I right? That's what usually happens. You usually get promoted. Corey H17, a monthly supporter. Thank you so much, Corey H17. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. King of Biltong. Hey, brother, I got your package and I am going to be trying that. I don't know if I'm going to try it for my first time tomorrow. or what, but I got it. Thank you so much for it. Put your link up so I can pin it for a minute. Put a link to where people can go to buy the biltong. If you've never had biltong before, it is fantastic. Fantastic. And King of Biltong sent me a sample that I'm going to enjoy so much. It's so good. Yep, it did get delivered. It did get delivered. All right, man. What is going on with this hearing or press conference hearing? I am eventually going to have to. Maybe when I come back, I'll have some biltong. I might bring it up here and cut me a little piece, little sliver. There it is. All right, let's pin that up there. There we go. BiltongUSA.com/shop. Check them out. Check them out. Fantastic product. Can't wait to dive into it. In the meantime, I'm eating now cold pizza, pepperoni. I've almost eaten 2 slices on air somehow. That's my first time ever. Sometimes I've eaten chips and stuff, but never an actual like food group. Although chips, I guess, are a food group. I'll jump back in the chat. Again, there isn't much until we get the thing going here. Ash and John are joining streams. Are they like...
But we may break everything, right?
And if that happens, they should just all come over to watch.
And if that happens, John says join his show.
Yeah, because then we'll cover.
It's a mutiny.
Oh wait, maybe that's a good idea. She says you should share my show on your screen. Wait, I'm so confused. We could leave that up, Ash, and then you join my stream. Maybe we wouldn't break anything then.
So how would we share to this audience here? Yeah.
Okay, just come on my stream. We'll figure it out. If something breaks and you lose the stream, just hop over to Daily Herald. We're gonna cover the Kristi Noem stuff. Okay,
so we're gonna try this. We're gonna try and merge the streams. If not, go to Daily Herald because that's where we're going to cover this hearing. Hearing. Okay, perfect. All right. Bye.
Don't end that stream though.
I won't. You want me to leave the stream up or share your stream? I should probably share your stream, right?
Leave that stream.
I should raid my stream.
And come in my
We're still raiding.
But don't do anything else. Like don't mess with anything. Don't end the stream.
Don't end the stream. Should I take like the screen share of the thing down? Like so it's just a blank StreamYard setup.
I don't know. Just
okay.
Watching them try to figure this out is hilarious. I love these guys. They've never seen Ghostbusters. You don't cross the streams.
Did not work, but I think what I'm going to do.
Now there they go. You're live.
All
right, they're live. All over the place. Still nothing here, though. Still nothing here, though. Do-do-do. 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 Oh, we got movement. There's a guy moving in the back. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah, Ash jumped over there. I could raid his show too, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stay here with you guys, the OGs, the real loyals, staying with the election guy. Ash is the election girl. I'm the election guy or woman, guy, girl, gal. I might have to go make another piece of pizza just so that I have like good pizza. Ba ba ba. Da, 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 da. Oh man, they're still like a shit show. It's going to be a rug. All right, so we're back here. It looks like they're getting ready. I was just listening in there. It looks like they're getting ready. Again, I don't know if it's going to be a rug per se, but I think it is going to be about the SAVE Act. I don't think it's going to be CISA. I think they're going to take the HSI perspective here that ICE needs to be involved in this somehow. I don't know. I'm based on the billboards behind them. This is going to be an ICE thing, or I mean, not an ICE thing, a SAVE thing. Oh, here we go. Maybe. Nope. Looks like the guy was just putting her folder in place. Rug. There's the rug. Are we starting? Nope. Rug. Rug, rug, rug. Rug, rug, rug. Are they going to like film her like walking out? Like, do they have like an entrance theme song for her? Like, John Cena, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? And then he comes out with the cool ass music. What was Stone Cold's with the snake? Shh. It's been so long. Glass breaks and then Stone Cold walks out. Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, here we go. Oh, I know who that guy was. I know that's a CNN guy, I think. Brian likes the rugs. I don't like the rugs. I hate the rugs. All right, here we go. Now we got her. All right, I'm going to mute myself. She has no audio. She realizes it.
Perfect. There we go. That'll work better. Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here. Again, I'm Kristi Noem, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And I've had the opportunity today to spend some time with some of your elected officials, some of those that are involved in election security here, and local leaders to discuss what we can do to make sure that we have integrity in our election systems going forward. I want to thank some of them that came today. Justin Heap is here. He's the recorder of Maricopa County. I want to thank him for sharing some wisdom with me on what we can do to partner together. Also, State Representative John Gillette of the 30th District is here too. And I want to thank him for all of the information that he shared with me. Jennifer Wright is the former Assistant Arizona Attorney General for the Elections Unit. And she's here as well and shared her wisdom and work over the years to make sure that when people go to vote in an election, that they can trust that that vote counted and that they had the chance to cast their support behind the candidate that they wanted to. You know, at the end of the Constitutional Convention in 1787, Benjamin Franklin was asked out on the street by a woman what kind of a government that we would have. And he replied to her, "A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it." And that's what our job is. For 250 years, it's been our American duty to maintain our republic and to make sure that our elections are secure. Republics depend on the confidence of their citizens, that when they vote, that their vote matters, that it counts. And our elections are essential to make sure that that confidence stays there, that they know and trust that the system is fair. Since returning to office, President Trump has made election integrity a priority. He's made it a cornerstone of his Make America Great Again agenda. And the truth is that our election system needs a lot of work. From state to state throughout the country, we see challenges and things that can be improved on. And although the Constitution gives states the primary responsibility for running their elections, Congress also gives authorities and duties to the federal government. Now, as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, those authorities lie within my department, and the responsibility lies with me. I have the responsibility of not just pointing out different vulnerabilities that we may see in our election systems, but also with making sure that we're putting forward mitigation measures that can be enacted at the state and local level to make sure that our elections are are run correctly, that the votes are counted and tabulated, and that the people that were elected are put into those positions. As President Trump said, we will either fix our nation's election issues or we will no longer have a nation to save. Right now, America has a golden opportunity, a wonderful opportunity to show that we are serious about securing our elections and that we care about making sure that we preserve our sacred republic. Earlier this week, the House of Representatives passed the SAVE Act. This is federal legislation that does some common sense, straightforward things. First of all, it requires a photo ID in order to vote in federal elections. It also requires proof of citizenship in order to register to vote. And it requires states to remove non-citizens from their voter rolls. These measures are extremely popular with American citizens. American people have common sense, and they want to see reforms like this put into their elections. In fact, a Gallup poll was recently released that shows 84% of Americans support a photo ID when they go to vote, that 83% support proving your citizenship when you go to register to vote. A Pew Research poll showed that 95% of Republicans and 71% of Democrats agree with voter ID. There's a reason why more than 80% of Americans support these measures, and that's because they work and they're common sense and they build trust into the system. It's common sense that our elections should belong to the American people, that they should be the ones who get to vote, whose votes are counted, that they get one vote, not more, not less. It's common sense to make sure that foreign nationals don't vote in our elections, don't elect our leaders, and have a say in how our country runs. They don't and should not be allowed to be trampling on the voice of the American people, and will no longer allow American citizens to be disenfranchised, to have their voices suppressed by criminals, by hostile foreign actors, and by illegal aliens that shouldn't be here in this country. It's a fact that non-citizens have been voting in our elections. They've been registered and they have voted from state to state. For example, one of the most recent individuals that we've talked about is Ian Andre Roberts. He was an illegal alien from Guyana that was arrested by ICE while serving in Des Moines, Iowa as the school district superintendent. Perhaps you remember hearing about that arrest. Despite him being here illegally in this country, he was registered to vote in Maryland. He had a long rap sheet also of criminal charges, including narcotics possession, second and third degree possession of a weapon, and criminal possession of a forgery instrument. In Coldwater, Kansas, we had an illegal alien that was able to vote and was even elected as a mayor. He was charged by the Kansas Attorney General last fall for voting without being qualified and to election perjury charges, thanks to assistance from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Agency. As it stands, current guidelines for the National Voter Registration Act effectively stop states from going forward and checking citizenship during registration. The Save America Act would fix this. It would make sure that we close those loopholes and that we ensure in American elections, only Americans vote. Critics assert that the Save America Act will somehow hurt American voters. That's just absurd and absolutely not true. One of the claims that they have made in criticizing this bill is that they say that newly married women would be disenfranchised because they've had a name change. Well, there's many women out there, including myself, who've been married and changed our names when we re-registered to vote. And likewise, the idea that this bill would make it impossible for U.S. service members to vote if they're deployed overseas, well, that's completely false as well. For all of those procedures that are in place today, continue to stay that way after this act is passed and signed into law. They also say that this act requires voters to have a U.S. passport to register. That's not true. There's multiple options that are given to provide proof of citizenship, including military ID, government ID, photo ID with a proof of birth and location. In fact, if an individual has no documentation, they have the option of appearing at an election office and providing an affidavit stating that they are a citizen of this country. Now, another ridiculous conspiracy theory that we've heard is that the federal government will remove people from state voter rolls. Well, that's just simply not true. It's state and local election officials do the registration, and they maintain these lists going forward. We just help them do their job and make sure that they're doing it correctly. Each of the arguments that have been laid out to criticize this bill are baseless speculation from the radical left because they want illegal aliens to vote in our elections. They want to disenfranchise American citizens by telling them that their votes don't matter. There's only one reason that anyone would oppose this bill, and that's because they would want to cheat. They want illegal people and aliens in this country to be able to vote for them and to rob the United States citizens of their vote. And that's why they resist us at every single level when we're trying to deport people back to their home countries or stop them from committing crimes against the American people. That's why they do not support voter ID, proof of U.S. citizenship, or clean voter rolls. That's why the Save America Act is absolutely critical to our country's future. Because without secure elections, we lose what makes our country so great. And then when we lose that, we lose our country altogether. Almost 200 years ago in 1833, a Supreme Court Justice Joseph Story warned us with this. And he warned us this about illegal entry into our country. If aliens might be admitted indiscriminately to enjoy all of the rights of citizens at the will of a single state, the Union itself might be endangered by an influx of foreigners, hostile to its institutions, ignorant of its powers, and incapable of a due estimate of its privileges. There is no room in our election system for people that aren't Americans. There is no room in our election system for fraudsters and foreign influence. The Declaration of Independence said this simple, self-evident truth, that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Fair and secure elections are how we measure the consent of the governed, and they ensure that our American citizens' voices are heard. Our founders at the time of the creation of this country pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to defend our freedoms. In fact, the Continental Army went for years without being paid, and they braved through the brittle winter at Valley Forge as well. They did all of this because they wanted to ensure that their people, their families, and that their descendants could continue to live freely and could govern freely. If we don't uphold this bedrock principle of representative government, then our nation's choices will be decided by illegal aliens, by criminals, by foreign actors, and people that don't support America being the greatest country in the world. Our nation's choices, instead, if it were allowed to degrade our election system, would allow illegal aliens, criminals, and others to undermine our country. This kind of election security is something that the government owes to the American people, and it's something that we, the American people, owe to ourselves. We need to pass the Save America Act. We need to pass it today and sign it into law to ensure that the integrity of our election system stays in place for years to come. May God continue to bless this great state, the great people who are working to make sure that everybody's vote matters and that it counts. May God continue to bless the great United States of America. Thank you. With that, I will open it up to any questions that you may have. Yes.
Arizona already requires citizenship, and there have been repeated audits that have found that there is no widespread fraud happening in Arizona. Do you worry that emphasizing election security threats without evidence could undermine public confidence? And how do you ensure that messaging doesn't further any misinformation?
We have a SAVE program that is available to the state of Arizona that the state of Arizona could ensure through their Secretary of State that every county has access to and allow them to go back in and verify those individuals that are on the voter rolls today to make sure they should be voting in the elections that come forward. That's what I would encourage the Secretary of State to do, and I'll be sending out mitigation measures that can help build a promise back into that system to maintain the critical infrastructure that is our elections.
Secretary, are you still in charge of the mass deportation campaigns, or is
I'm still in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. That includes all 23 different agencies under our umbrella, including ICE and CBP, but also FEMA, TSA, Secret Service, the Coast Guard, many, many more.
Secretary, now,
yes, over here.
Secretary Alarcon has recently posted a video regarding the DOJ wanting more information on Arizona.
I think that would be a wonderful opportunity for him to be transparent and to ensure and promise the people of Arizona that they can trust their elections and that when they show up on election day, they'll get to vote without problems or hassles, that they'll be prepared to make sure that vote counts and that the correct results are announced.
Secretary,
That's right here. I'll come to you next.
You offered a couple of examples from Kansas, Maryland, and Iowa and such. Can you offer us any good examples of this kind of fraud
Oh, I'm sure there's many of them, but we want to make sure that we have.
So he asked if there's any kinds of voter fraud, like the immigration stuff in Arizona.
We talked about several of them this morning at our roundtable that we had. We talked about individuals that may be registered to vote in this state but truly live in another state. I understand that you have mobile homes and boats on lakes that individuals may have as their voter registration address, but not necessarily that is where they live. They live in another state, such as California or on the East Coast. Those kind of situations are things that your county officials should be bringing forward and be asking your Secretary of State for the opportunity to take off the voter rolls if they shouldn't be there.
Secretary,
Yeah. Oh, right here. Sorry.
Why choose to do this press conference this way? Your agency is about to run out of funding. We were just here in Arizona last week at the border, and obviously you bused all of us to a secure facility. And I'm curious as to why choose to do this press conference this way on something that doesn't seem top secret.
So very interesting there. And I'm going to play it through, but you guys can't hear the question. She asked, why would you do this when DHS is about to run out of funding, and then lets out of the bag that they bust these people to a secure facility and there's nothing here that's top secret. That is very interesting.
Oh my goodness, this is our critical infrastructure. So one of the things I think is good for all of you to know is that the Department of Homeland Security's mission is to defend the homeland, which means that even on our worst day, should we have an attack, a terrorist threat, if something disastrous happened to our country, the agency of FEMA under the Department of Homeland Security is responsible for running our government, which means that according to law, the authorities that are under this department is maintaining our critical infrastructure, which means it's my job to make sure that our electrical grid is sustained and intact and operational, that we ensure that we protect our cybersecurity. Any kind of manipulation or threats we face on anything that's said or done on the internet is my responsibility. Our water systems, making sure that people have the water that they need for their communities to live and take care of their families. And elections is another one of those critical infrastructure responsibilities that I have as well. And I would say that many people believe that it may be one of the most important things that we need to make sure we trust is reliable, and that when it gets to election day that we've been proactive to make sure that we have the right people voting, electing the right leaders to lead this country through the days that we have, knowing that people can trust it. That's why you're here. For me, I do press conferences because I want to be transparent and let you ask questions and have conversations. But I hope that you do recognize that in the past, your state has been an absolute disaster on elections, that your leaders have failed you dramatically by not having systems that work, by disenfranchising Americans who wanted to vote, that had to stand in lines for hours because machines failed or software failed. There's no state that could use more improvement than Arizona. And you should be asking all of your leaders what they're doing to fix the system. What are they doing to make sure that individuals in this state can trust that their vote is going to be taken, that it's going to be counted, and that it's going to matter to make sure the right people are in charge? Yes. Right over here? Yes.
In Arizona, we already require groups to register to vote, but we also allow members of our tribal nations to use their enrollment documents to vote. Under the SAVE Act, they wouldn't be able to do this.
The tribal IDs are recognized. Tribal IDs.
But most tribes don't have tribal IDs, not with photos and places of birth.
There's many different options that can be used. Now, remember, the SAVE Act only says that you need to prove your citizenship when you register to vote. It does not say that you have to prove your citizenship and able to go and vote. When you go vote on that day, you need to have a photo ID. And many times in Arizona here, you do have that requirement on your voter rolls. However, I understand that you need to go back and clean up your voter rolls. We have a program through the Department of Homeland Security that's called the SAVE program that your Secretary of State and your governor can use today to clean up voters on your rolls that shouldn't be there. Maybe people who've passed away, people that aren't citizens, people that don't live here. And that would make sure that in your next election, when people are casting their votes, they know they're voting for the right decisions, and that those votes are counted, and they're counted appropriately, and someone else didn't get to weigh in on their leadership. Yes, last one.
Regarding the El Paso airspace closure, confirmed that CBP actually hit a party balloon that thought was a drone with a laser early this week, as was reported. And if that is true, why wasn't the action coordinated with the FAA?
You know, this was a joint agency task force mission that was undertaken, and we're continuing to work on the communication through that, but recognize we're grateful for the partnership of the Department of War and the FAA as we go forward. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. And I think that is just about it for that. Again, it was just a kind of a clarification for the SAVE Act. So nothing, no breaking news or anything out of that. The one thing I did take away from that was very interesting was the top secret comment. That not top secret, but that we went to a secure facility and that they bust them there. And I'm getting flashbacks to the pit where, I went back in, 2022? The True the Vote, when they did that pit out in Arizona, and they brought a bunch of journalists and podcasters and everything else out there to talk about Conic was the ultimate, the end game of what they talked about. And that's what they did with us. We were at our hotels and they bussed us to a secure location. We put all of our phones in Faraday bags. Most of us, eventually people were using them. But it was also in like a tin hut in the middle of the summer, and I think we almost died. But that was interesting. The busing these people to a secure facility, very interesting. Let me go ahead and hit a sponsor here real quick, and then we'll get back in. I'll give a couple more comments, and then we'll wrap up this here for a second, guys. Remember, when whatever ended an argument, you just be like, whatever, and it ended. Some of us never stopped using that strategy. We just upgraded it. Snark magnets are controlled, highly efficient sarcasm, the kind that says everything without raising your voice or scheduling a discussion about it. There are 15 bold, sarcastic designs to choose from, such as "Witness the void where I once cared," "Chaos was the plan all along," "Overthinking is my cardio." Put one on your locker, your cubicle, your tool chest, workspace, wherever you want to. It's your territory. If it doesn't require explanation, it doesn't require explanation. It explains itself. They make people laugh, and they also quietly discourage follow-up questions. Built for people who know the calmest response is the sharpest one. Proudly made in the USA. Scan the QR code or click the link below and use code RUMBLE10 for 10% off your entire order at thingsofholding.com. Again, that's thingsofholding.com. And I bought a bunch of them. Can you guys see that? I bought a bunch of these and I love them, man. This one was for my wife. Snacks are currency around here. Love these things. Chaos was the plan all along. And then I got her a small one for her office at work. Snacks are currency around here. So I told you guys when I had their sponsorship last that I was going to buy some of them, and I did right after the show. They've also got a lot of cool other little things on that website. So thingsofholding.com, Rumble10. Still need a CannCon was right about everything shirt, Jackie says. Not everything. If I say something definitive, I'm typically right, but not always. And yeah, it does freeze up when I run the ad. So I don't know if you guys could see, but I'll just show them real quick again. I don't drink coffee for your safety. I drink coffee for your safety. Excuse me. That one's mine. And then this one's Kristi's. Snacks are currency around here. And then chaos was the plan all along. And if Things of Holding happens to hear this, because I know they listened the last time, and you want to make me a CannCon was right about everything one, I will take it. All right, so that was the hearing. Again, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. The questions, about, registering to vote, showing an ID. The affidavit thing kind of, I was like, I don't like that. If you don't have ID and you don't have all these things, you can go down and file an affidavit, a sworn affidavit to register saying that you're a citizen. And sure, I get it. The problem, and Chris and I talked about this, and Chris articulated it very well. And this is something Ash and I have said constantly on Why We Vote, is that it's not the illegals voting. It's the illegals being registered to vote through motor voter, through automatic voter registration. This is probably a good time to play a clip, and I'll probably I'll probably end up leaving it at that, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But let me play this clip here. Here it is. So check out this clip here, and you'll understand why illegals voting is not what you might think it is. I'll explain.
The idea that someone would actually vote illegally with the penalties that are in place.
It happens all the time, Senator. It happens all the time. You're just saying it's not widespread. But I'm saying we don't know how spread it is because we don't detect it. I'm on the website for the state of California to register to vote. On the section that has where you put in your driver's license, your last 4 of your social, there's a box underneath each one that says, I don't have one. I don't have one. And then you're allowed to proceed to go to vote. So this idea that you're not allowed to register to vote unless you present some sort of identification is not accurate. It's not true. It's not being implemented in the state of California. Additionally, people are being registered to vote at the DMV. And we already know based on audits that the DMV has improperly registered people to vote, including illegal immigrants. And we have immunity in place that says if the DMV registers someone who is not eligible, they're immune from prosecution. So I don't believe we have sufficient safeguards in place that detect and prevent people from committing voter fraud.
So he's right there, and I covered this. I covered this a while back on an article, I think, and California's law literally says that if you receive a ballot, you can't be liable if you vote that ballot, because there's an assumption that since you received it, that that you're okay to vote. And so these people vote. You never know that they're illegal to vote. And if they did find out that they were illegal to vote, you don't go to the person to find out why they voted. You ignore it because they received a ballot. So it's literally a foolproof system where if you do try and investigate and get to the root of why this person voted, it ends up pushing you back at somebody else. So, yeah. Gail Golick says, if a person doesn't vote, they vote for you. Yep. And that's what we talked about on Badlands Daily this morning, is that it's not that these illegals are voting. It's that they're in the system and they can have a vote credited to them. And nobody is going to go back and check and make sure that they didn't vote. This is the point I made on Badlands Daily, that nobody actually goes and like, hey, let me make sure that a vote wasn't cast in my name. There's a reason that you didn't vote, and that's because you've either checked out of the system or you're just not interested in the system. And so it's not something that you prioritize in your life. And so you just ignore it. And nobody ever is like, let me, I'm so active that I want to go back and make sure I didn't vote. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, there's that. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. Please smash that thumbs up if you have not done so already. Share the show out. Well, not so much this show. I mean, this one wasn't much. It was an hour of us shooting the shit and in the chat, and it ended with a little bit of a rug. I think we knew what it was going to be. Again, I'm more interested in the fact that they're meeting and doing this in a secure location, and the press had to be bussed into a secure location. I think that was deliberate, that came up in the presser. I think that was deliberate, and it might be some foreshadowing. So if you hear anything, Gail, hit me up. My number's still the same. Hit me up. And thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, stay frosty. God bless each and every one of you. God bless America. Make the deep state pay for this.